Hello, everybody. Listen, I'm just at Eric Metaxas's studio down here in New York, and then I'm having a fascinating opportunity to listen to the other guests that are on here. And so I want to talk to this man in particular. Would you please tell us what is it that you do? And because I just got a chance to listen to you, it's so fascinating. You're a documentary filmmaker.
Well, I guess I am, because I just made a documentary film. And this is a film, it was very kind of you to ask, this is a film about three sadly forgotten comedians from the 1950s, television comedians. And it's filled out with archive footage that hasn't been seen in decades and decades.
Wow. And
with contemporary interviews telling you all about these comedians and their influence.
Fantastic. And your partner in crime, who is this?
Andrew Hunt.
Andrew Hunt. We got to get your name, though, for the...
Karl Tiedemann.
Karl Tiedemann. Now, these guys are so fascinating. So now, Andrew, how did you end up with an interest in American comedy, of all things? You have an accent, so...
Yeah. Because American comedy is the best.
Actually, I'm a really big fan of British comedy as well.
Sure.
I worked with Karl about 14 years ago on a project, and then he'd come and seen some of my comedies, and then he has...
Oh, because you did stand-up?
No, I've made some romance comedy films.
Oh.
Previously, so we got together on this project, and it's been an amazing journey.
Can you tell me something about, you guys are both students of comedy, you're like scholars of comedy. What is the characteristics? Because I find that like you guys are kind of quiet when I first met you, then you're witty, but what is is there a personality style to a comedian?
There's many different personalities, I think, as there are comedians. It's very hard to generalize. Some comedians are always on. Other comedians just light up when they're in front of an audience, to give one example.
Were there like Bob Newhart, for instance? Is he an introvert, or is he? What do you guys think?
I think comedians have this. They're like a good photographer in the way that what separates a good photographer is they'll take a photo of something that we've all seen, but from a point of view we haven't seen it from before. And that's what a comedian does. You know, they have you looking at something that you're so familiar with, but you've never seen it that way. Going, that's so true. And that's the gift that comedians have, is repackaging life and showing it to you in a way you've never thought of before.
It's that observation ability. Now, why is it that Jewish people, for some reason, have a characteristic of being, I mean, all the Jews that I've ever studied have all been, the great Jewish comedians is why they're...
Yeah, well, it's an endless list. I really have no idea, except that people have theorized that they've had to keep their sense of humor in good nick in order to survive.
So, well,
there was a writer, Max Wilk, who wrote a book about the golden age of comedy, and he interviewed Max Liebman, who was one of the directors and producers of, he created Your Show of Shows, which is a big show in the 50s that our film covers. But they talked about this, and they made this connection to the comedy and hardship, how those two things go together. And so that, but I think I agree with Karl, it's hard to really pinpoint, but you do see that consistent.
well, it is, because so many of these comedians, I mean, from Mel Brooks to Sid Caesar to Lenny Bruce or Mort Saul, I mean, most of them they're not in Nazi Germany, they're United States, they grew up after the war, and yet they tap into this sense of irony, I guess is what it is.
Yeah, and even though they weren't actively persecuted here, they couldn't get into country clubs and that sort of thing.
So there was an element of angst.
I believe at Harvard they would talk of the Jewish quota. How many Jews could be admitted in a given year? So they have
The persecution complex is valid, people. Now, my question is this: comedy writing. Take me into the world, because you guys did comedy writing but you were with Letterman, right? I'm pointing over here.
years ago.
All right, so that was years ago. But take me into the world of what happens in a room when you're writing comedy, because there's a resurgence of interest in comedy all over the place now.
What happens?
Yeah, you're sitting down, is it like this guy's at a desk? Are you actually sitting there crafting stuff, or are you pinging off each other? You're joking around and writing ideas?
Well, first of all, it depends if there are 1, 2, 3, or more people.
Oh, okay.
You could write in solitude. You could write with a partner. I find that often brings better results because it's like built-in quality control. You try out a line on your partner, and immediately you get the feedback of another party, and it's harder to deceive yourself that your stuff is funny if you have a co-writer.
Now, was it a rumor I heard that Sid Caesar, but they were collaborative in the room, and they'd be throwing ideas around here or there, and he would judge them pretty much on like, that was a good one, or he'd make believe he's shooting it down out of the air.
I heard that too. On that show, it was totally collaborative. No one went off to work by themselves, I gather. They all worked together, and obviously it functioned well for them.
My gosh. So at any one point in time, it could have been like Mel Brooks would have been in a room, and maybe someone else, like Dick Cavett, could have been in there writing, or somebody.
I don't think he ever wrote for Caesar, did he?
No.
He wrote for Jack Paar and Johnny Carson.
There you go.
And he
Jack
wrote for
Paar.
Jerry Lewis.
And he wrote for Jerry Lewis.
But definitely the writers on your shows went on to do remarkable stuff because, you know, the Simon brothers wrote only for a handful of episodes.
The big one is Neil Simon.
Oh, that's the Simon brothers you're talking about. Glad you clarified that for me. I was a little bit illiterate on that myself. Excuse me, my wife wants to know something.
She thinks you're on earbuds. She can only hear you, but not them.
No, I'm not on earbuds. I just have to turn the volume up. How's that? Is that better? I had it down. I was afraid the phone would go off.
Switch his earbuds off, and no more mic will kick.
What the heck? Are we getting these guys?
Not their voices.
What?
She just wrote to me. I don't know.
Maybe it's her phone.
Okay.
Let me ask you people, are you hearing what I'm saying? I've got a whole audience here. 232 people right now are watching us. We've got a whole studio audience. You guys able to hear what I'm doing? Love Jerry Lewis. They're commenting.
Okay.
They're responding to him.
Okay. Sorry. I just
Sounds
saved
good.
the
Sounds
show,
good to
okay?
us, Lance.
Anything for the good show.
I can hear them. They're saying. All right.
I can project. If that would...
So Eric's doing a show. He's going to come out and rebuke us any second now. All right, let me tell you. They want to see your documentary. Where's your documentary?
Well, it's been admitted to a few film festivals lately, and its first one is the Garden State Film Festival in Asbury Park, New Jersey. That's the North Shore of Jersey. And our film in particular, because there are like 200 films, our film in particular goes up on the afternoon of Sunday, March 31st, this month, at 3 p.m.
Then we're in Chicago at the beginning of April, and then the Newport Beach Film Festival from the 25th of April to May the 2nd.
Now, we don't have exact screening dates for the second and third, but when we get them, they'll be up on our website and Facebook page.
You can get a teaser from, we have our trailer on our website.
And where can they go?
Yeah, so that's funnyyouneverknew.com.
That's the name of the film.
funnyyouneverknew.com. It is, and so one quick final question. What did you discover that you didn't know after you did? Was there any ahas you had in the process of putting this project together that was a real big aha?
I didn't expect it to be this arduous and expensive,
Oh, really?
to be honest.
I was amazed at the quality of American comedy at that time, because I definitely had have always, I mean, I'm not British, growing up in New Zealand, but I had a fondness for British comedy. And I was blown away by how incredible that the American comedy was, particularly in that period of the 50s, and how so much of it still plays today, which is what you'll see in the film. Funny is funny. There's some aspects of that are timeless, I guess.
Oh, good. We're getting people putting gifts. See, they're putting it up already to show us
good.
the
Already,
advertising.
yeah.
See, I got a very educated group. They're already posting it. So I was going to
We
ask,
have a Facebook page and an Instagram page and Twitter, so
and it's all the same title, right? Funny as you never knew, or funny you never knew.
yeah.
One final question: British comedy, Monty Python, the Goon, what was it? The Goon Show with Peter Sellers and that stuff. What's the difference between British humor and American humor? Is there a difference?
Well, I never thought that question works very well, because that's like saying, you have to say, what American humor are you talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's true.
Well, it runs such a gamut, and it's the same in Britain. There are stand-ups there, contemporary ones I love, like Milton Jones, and especially Tim Vine, who's very funny. Those guys are very whimsical, and they also work clean, which is nice.
Right.
And then all the way over to the other end of the spectrum, where the comedy is very tough, and it's same here. So it's you have to.
So the
specify.
so the
There are
an-
some generalizations that you can make, though. Like, I think
No,
because
you're
I'm-
wrong.
Because I'm neither American nor British, but I feel like there are certain things that British comedy could do that you couldn't get away with here. Like, there is a dark side to British comedy.
I think so,
that I don't think would go down here. Also, I think American comedy is a bit more sarcastic than British comedy, as a general.
Oh, I would disagree with
Really?
that. They have a stock in trade in Britain of irony.
Yeah, but I just feel like a lot of American comedy is at the expense of someone. It's the element of American comedy I like I find it particularly, and I'm talking more like contemporary sitcoms where it's always a joke at someone's expense.
Right.
And I don't feel like, I don't know, to me that's just something I see more here than I do with the British comedy I talk.
One thing that was different is American vaudeville in its purest state died out in the 1930s. So its influence began to die out in the 60s and 70s. But the British equivalent of vaudeville, which was called variety, didn't die until the early 60s. So you had this wonderful training ground which persisted for 30 years longer in Britain, and yielded great variety comedians like Tommy Cooper, Morecambe and Wise, Charlie Drake, the Goons. They worked their way up in variety. So that's a definite difference between the two camps.
I love this interview. Obviously, you guys are just, you're just a gift for me to be able to meet with you. So here we are all together, people. They want to go check out that site, share it. You want to see, and the documentary will not be public until March, to the end,
March 31st,
officially,
well,
right?
it's only,
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
Very soon, yeah. We're still finishing it. I'm about to head back to the studio.
And where will it be available after that? Is that what we're trying to figure out now?
Well,
Yes.
that's our next stage is looking
next
for
stage.
distribution deals and
Get the distribution deals. All right.
So, yeah.
Well, keep us posted on that.
Thank
We'll
you.
see if we can help. We have our own distribution company right here. God bless you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
nice surprise.
All right, well, there you go, guys. Powerful. Love these spontaneous meetings. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, but you already know that. What you don't know is you can subscribe and get another video, and I encourage you to do that right now. Just do it now while the moment's here. Just press that subscribe button and go for it.